All right, so it says there's 35 people. I can't actually see everyone. So if I'm not saying good morning specifically to you, I'm very sorry. Oh, I can't minimize it. Okay, give me one more second. I have notes and I want to make sure that I don't lose those. Oh, Christy, are you here? Christy Brinkman.
Yes, I'm here.
Oh, good morning.
I just was muted.
All right, well, Christy, shall we begin?
Yeah, absolutely. Welcome, everyone. Good morning. We are so thankful that you're here. We have a lot of great stuff going on, despite it being a very strange year. So we know that this has been a very challenging couple of months, and that there's a lot of people that are going through a lot of different things. So it means even more to us that you guys have made the time to be here with us this morning. So we wanted to update you on a few things. For those who don't know me, I'm Christy Brinkman. I'm the board president. Sorry, I should have started with that. We've got a lot of great people on the call today too that Betsy's going to introduce a little bit later. We've got some new staff that we've added to the team, and a lot of wonderful people on here today. So I wanted to give a quick update on some of the things that we've been doing as a board to ensure continued success for Home Sweet Home for many years to come. So our Vice President, Mike Fisher, is working on a strategic plan update, and something that we've been doing to just ensure that we can continue to be successful for many years to come. We recognize that a lot of our ability to be able to, sorry, my guard dog. We've recognized that a lot of our ability to pivot throughout this challenging time has been due to some very strong financial procedures and a dedication to our mission. And that's because we've got great volunteers and a very dedicated staff. So we're looking at a couple of different things within the update of our strategic plan. That's capacity. So making sure our operations are up to par to perform at max potential, and also analyzing what needs are out there within the community and how can we make sure that we're meeting all of those needs. I think somebody said it best when they said, we'll know that we've met our mission when every person is sleeping in a bed. So we're looking at how can we best identify those needs within the community so that we can make sure that we're meeting them and serving the people that we've set out to serve. HR and benefits. This is another area we want to make sure that we're providing our staff with a benefits package that'll allow them to continue to grow professionally and sustain the best people and make Home Sweet Home a best place to work within the region. And then stakeholder engagement. So not only how do we engage our employees, our volunteers, but also our donors and our partner agencies and our clients. So again, just ensuring that we are meeting that mission in the best way that we possibly can. So we're intending to specifically form a stakeholder advisory board. So we may be reaching out to some of you, or if you have an interest, please reach out to myself or to Betsy if you'd like to serve in that capacity. And then fundraising, of course, we have to raise money to be able to sustain our mission and to sustain all these practices. And we recognize that there is a lot of need in the region, and there's only going to continue to be more need. And so as we try to be a part of creating a better St. Louis region, our fundraising group is going to continue to look at how we can do that in a sustainable way financially. But I want to thank you all for your continued support. It's been strange, and we are very, very grateful for the amazing volunteers and donors and supporters that we have. So thank you. I'm going to turn it over to Betsy. And also big thank you to you, Betsy, for your leadership throughout this time. It has been, I am just so grateful for you and everything that you are doing. So I'll turn it over to you now.
Thank you, Christy. So I have some notes so I don't forget anything here. Good morning. It's really good to see everybody. I think that's the biggest challenge for me personally is not being able to see each of you every day. Things here have been, of course, very busy. So since we shut down, a reminder, we shut down between March 17th and June 1st. And so starting June 1st, we started serving clients, and clients are coming in fast and furious, but so are donations of stuff. So that's been amazing. First, I want to, and not all of the staff are on here because some of them are working, but we have to give a gigantic thank you to the staff because they have pulled off some impossible feats. Been nothing short of amazing. It wasn't easy. It's still not easy. The amount of furniture, the constant pivoting, the enormous weight of like keeping the weight of the pressure of like keeping an organization and a mission running, and continuing to serve clients, it just falls very heavy, I think, on all of our shoulders. And then you add, of course, the global pandemic to it, and it just amplifies everything. But this team has just stepped up, and a lot of them are new, so that says a lot about their character and their fortitude and their willingness and want to be a part of this mission. They've absolutely, everybody has stepped up to the challenge, and every time we pivot, the whole team kind of pivots together. So it still isn't always easy. We still are drowning in furniture, and some days there are problems that we just literally like close that garage door. We're not looking in the garage right now because we don't want to have to deal with it. But they're doing it. I'm just so proud and grateful for all of them, especially the ones that are new, that were literally like tossed into a new job, but also in the middle of all this changing stuff. So just very grateful for everybody. The volunteers we have missing for so many reasons. Lisa B's done a great job of getting a small number of folks in here so that we can both get the mission continuing, but also keep everybody safe. And while we don't have the capacity to do 10 plus folks in here every day like we used to, we're still able to see a few of you every day. But we miss you all so much. Every time I have like fun news to share or something funny happens, I want to like run out into the warehouse and like find one of the volunteers and tell them, and I'm like, oh, there's no one here. But so we've tried to stay as connected to you via email or text messages or Facebook as much as we can. If you're not signed up for the volunteer app band and you want to be, connect with Lisa B because they can get you signed up for that. But it isn't the same as seeing your faces in here. We miss your joy, we miss your silliness, we miss your laughter. So thanks for everyone who's been able to come in, but thank you also to those who are staying home because we need that too. We need you back at the end of this, and I'd rather have everybody safe. And so we're try to we'll try to continue to find ways to engage you in all the different formats. And thanks for being patient as we find ways for everybody to help, because I know that's been a challenge for folks that are staying home and wanting to find ways to engage. There are just sometimes that our brains are just so tired and overwhelmed and trying to problem solve that there are days where we're just like, I can't think of one more thing, right? Like, so I appreciate your patience, as I know some of you are really desperately wanting to help and always volunteering, and some days we'll find ways to plug you in, and other days we just appreciate knowing that you're there and you're sharing the word and having your friends donate stuff, and that's perfect. COVID updates so far, everything has been really going well. Everybody's been wearing the masks and staying as socially distant as you can when you're carrying a couch. The mission hasn't stopped. Both Lisa and Sean have worked really hard to set up different ways on the trucks and in the warehouse to keep us constantly washing our hands and using hand sanitizer. So far so good. Again, everything's really flying through quickly. And like one example, I'll show you a quick picture if I screen share the right thing. Just yesterday, we had an opportunity to go, can you guys see Okay, you can see that, right? Okay, so so this is just like one example of how things just keep rolling for Home Sweet Home. Despite Sue Foster's attempts for years to try to engage IKEA with some luck, but then it would keep fizzling out, IKEA had actually reached out to us at the very beginning of COVID and said they wanted to donate stuff. We all went home, things got lost in all the chaos, and then as soon as we were back opening, we reached back out and said, hey, if you still want to donate stuff, we're still here. Yesterday we picked up $4,000 worth of kitchen stuff from IKEA. So it was I don't even know. Sue, you might have to unmute yourself. Do you remember what was on that list of stuff?
Pretty much almost like I would say 75 to 80% of all the items we love to have in our kitchen kits. And then I have pretty much gotten the rest of it all together so that we'll have, it's like at least 30 kits, full, really, really nice kits. So they had pots and pans, which we don't get a lot of, and all the utensils, cutting boards, dishes. And that was in addition to, they gave us 30 sets of dishes for like a family of 4, and then glasses and silverware. I mean, so we'll be set for like 30 full families and probably more.
Nice. Hold on, I think that's over here. Okay. Not sure what was happening there. So yeah, so things are of course like continuing to move along, and we're still able to help clients. And so Sean will tell us a little bit more about that, because one of the first big changes, so if you've been around the warehouse, you know, I'm trying to pull you back up. If you've been around the warehouse, you know, but as we've been growing, the organizational chart was like everyone reporting to me, and that was becoming very difficult, and I wasn't doing a good job of being able to pull that off for everyone. So we put into our budget at the beginning of this year an operations director, and so I'm so thrilled to have Sean step up into that role. So for those that don't know, Sean has been here a few years and started as a mover on the truck, and then became the client services coordinator. And now his official title is operations director, in which he is responsible for all the incoming donations, right? So the donation logistics coordinator, as well as the entire truck team, and then as well as the client services coordinator. And so Sean can tell you a little bit more about the mission.
Okay. Thanks, Betsy. Yeah, great to see all of y'all. Things have been rolling, like Betsy is saying. It's tough, and there's it seems like a new puzzle every day at the warehouse, but that's not necessarily a new thing because of COVID, but maybe slightly more dense of a puzzle. Since we started back up in late May, early June, we have managed to serve like 137 families, and we've given 184 children beds. So those numbers, I kind of feel like almost weekly I need to check in and remind myself. Those are kind of easy stats to remind us like what we're doing, and that 184 kiddos beds is remarkable and awesome, and we have such a good team. I'm so proud of everyone, and it's an honor to work with them. So we are still delivering in person. I'm sure a lot of you know this, but just to recap, the way that we used to operate before COVID is that we had 2 trucks running. They would do 2 deliveries each in the afternoon, and we had those 4 families that were delivered that afternoon shop for all their stuff in the morning with a lot of you. I know a lot of you assisted with that. So because of COVID, we are still delivering in home to our families, but we have to be very careful about that, especially because a lot of the folks that we're working with are a part of those more affected populations that this pandemic is hitting. So we understand that responsibility, and we're trying to take it very seriously. still serve those families, but keep them safe while doing it. So we are still delivering in person, but whereas we used to do a route of pickups for each truck in the morning, and then we'd go out in the afternoon and deliver to 2 families back to back, we don't feel like that's a safe thing to do anymore. We need to be careful about going from home to home. So the way that we've been dealing with that is that our trucks go to a family's home in the morning. They come back, they sanitize the truck, they change their clothes, they're washing their hands, and then we load up the next family. So this takes a lot more time, where we were serving about 20 families a week before the pandemic. We are now at 12. Oh wow, I knocked over my whole thing. So logistically, it's also tough to not have the families come to the warehouse. We didn't feel like it was safe to have people come shop, and that was kind of a huge blow to our mission, because as you all know, I'm sure any of you that have shopped with families, that is a very important part of the mission, and something that is kind of devastating for us to not be able to make available to those families anymore. So because that is where they find that, or we're hoping that that's where a lot of that dignity and independence is coming from. That shopping experience is empowering because they're getting to pick everything out. So when we started, I kind of was hoping that I could cover as much of that as possible over the phone, and that quickly became something that I was like, I'm so uncomfortable with. You know, it's very difficult to pick every item out for a family after a 40-minute phone call. So a huge thanks to our volunteer coordinator, Lisa B., and a volunteer, Alicia Strecker, did an enormous, huge favor and good job to make a website in a series of slideshows, essentially, that we are constantly updating. Lisa's constantly doing maintenance on. It's a huge team effort, and it has helped out immensely. So it's not every item on these slideshows, but there are things that we kind of designated as the items that people's aesthetic preferences seem to be a little stronger on. So the couches and chairs, you know, a lot of living room furniture and lamps, their dining tables and dining sets. And then the one that takes the most maintenance, but is probably the most fun through the phone calls, is that all of the art and decor, figurines, paintings, all that kind of stuff, that is all on there too. So for me, COVID has been, you know, like I was saying, it's a dense puzzle all the time, but also it's been really nice because when I was doing client services before, I would get to see the families and make sure that they understood the process and that we had everything correct for them, and then hand them off to you volunteers. And that was all I got to really work with them on. And I wasn't in their homes anymore like I was on the truck. And so this has given me the opportunity to spend hours and hours and hours on the phone with families. And while that's, you know, very time consuming and there's a lot of other stuff that I've kind of had to push to the side to do that, it's been very rewarding, and I've really enjoyed it. So where am I at here? Let's see. So I talked about delivery safety. I've talked about the shopping process. Like Betsy said, they gave me this role of operations director, which freed us up to be able to hire a new client services coordinator. And we hired Asher. You're going to get to meet her in a little bit here, but she's been wonderful. She's taken over very quickly and confidently, and I feel I feel a lot of solace in knowing that our families are going through this process with her. And maybe I'll leave it there, Betsy, and you can talk about so we've gotten some relief funding. I think Betsy's going to go into that, and then maybe I'll talk about what things are going to look like now with that funding.
Yeah, so perfect. So 2 exciting things, which some of you may already know if you've been in the warehouse, and I think we might have shared one via email, but we are one of the new United Way organizations coming up. So that's so very exciting. Thank you, giant gratitude to Berta James, who's on this call, because Berta is both a volunteer and a board member, and helps write a lot of these grants. And so Berta was the driving force behind this. And I think we were one of 38 of the new organizations that are part of the United Way network. And so for those that aren't familiar, the United Way completely redid all of the way that they are taking organizations now. So every single organization in the region had to reapply. Nobody was automatically in. And so it was, I'm sure, a challenge to be included as one of the organizations. And I think that says a lot about the work that you all have done, the support. Oh my gosh, without the financial support that all of you have given and put into this mission, we never would have had all been able to check all of the boxes that the United Way called for, right? So the United Way wanted to make sure that you have a solid budget, that you know what you're doing. They want to make sure that you have a reserve fund, which we wouldn't have had without support of people on this call. They want to make sure that you have a board that knows what they're doing and that there's strategic plans happening. And so because of all of your work, we were able to check all those boxes. And that's probably really what made the whole thing happen. So the way that works, just a little bit of insider information, is so the United Way now, instead of funding you forever, will fund you for 3 years. It starts January of 2021. We requested $164,000 per year. Now that will depend on how well their United Way campaign goes this fall, of course. So if it goes well, I assume they would increase that. If it doesn't go well, it would decrease. They won't tell us until December, which if you work in this world makes budgeting tricky, but nonetheless, that's kind of what we have to work with, is knowing that for 3 years we'll have that United Way support. Of course, with the United Way support comes additional responsibilities, but also additional benefits. So we also have to do new reporting, and we'll have to do site visits with them, which is great because I think it gives us an opportunity to introduce more people to this mission. But then along with it just comes opportunities to meet and learn and get education on how to do this better and make a stronger organization and find other partners to collaborate within the region. So it's going to be really great. That's 3 years. Their funds come monthly. So every month, they take, say you're awarded $160,000 for the year. They just divide that by 12 and it deposits into the organization's account each month. And so that will allow us to not just sustain, but hopefully continue to grow this mission and serve more families. I am signed up to be a United Way speaker. So if you're familiar or have ever worked at an organization or a corporation that gives to the United Way every fall, they do a 2-month campaign. And they have people from the organizations come and speak. And so if you are, as a volunteer, interested in speaking, and that's one way that you think you have a gift that you'd like to share, they are accepting volunteer speakers. And so let me know if you're interested in being a speaker. And so in non-COVID world, what that typically looks like is a corporation says, we'd like to have a speaker to kick off our United Way campaign. They put it out there. I would respond and say, yes, we're interested. You go to the corporation, and sometimes it's a few people. Maybe you're only speaking to 12. I think the biggest group I spoke to was like 200 people in like a movie theater one time. And they show the United Way video, and you spend 4 minutes talking about the mission of the organization and why you like it and why they should give to the United Way campaign. So that's, if you're interested in becoming a speaker, let me know. Of course, but also volunteers. We'd love to have you. And then if you work at a corporation that is part of the United Way Giving campaign, definitely feel free to talk about your role in Home Sweet Home and how the United Way funds will definitely support that mission and what it means to different organizations. And so then the next exciting information, though, is that, again, I'm going to share my screen. Thanks to let's see, this one, Michelle is not on this call, correct? But one of our board members, Michelle Hamilton, noticed that there was funding available through the St. Louis County for CARES relief funding. And thanks to Berta's speediness, we were able to write a grant that got us $85,000. And so that funding will do a few things. So the grant was specifically for getting our operations back up to par to where we were pre-COVID. And it was specifically around homeless services. So they put several $1 million into this area in the St. Louis region. And it allowed us to, so one of the points that we're having kind of like a hold up in services is we have plenty of people or plenty of stuff. We have plenty of clients, but we actually don't have enough volunteers or case managers, right, to facilitate all of that shopping. Sean realized he could only do 10 to 12 really well clients a week. And so this allowed us to hire until the end of the year an additional case manager. So you'll get to meet Kristen in just a second. It also allowed us to offset the cost of some staff so we could purchase a new truck. So that's why you see 2 new trucks on your screen. And so that funding will be spent between now and the end of the year on staff, but also trucks. And then Sean will tell you a little bit more too about the other piece of that puzzle, which is a UV light box that this will fund. So the second truck that you see on here was actually already planned on the budget as part of a grant from St. Louis Jefferson County Waste Management Corporation. I think that's right, which is that recycling grant that we have been getting, but this year we had specifically asked for a new truck. And we actually got a great deal on 2 literally brand new trucks. I think one came with like 22 miles on it. The team was so excited to like sit in it, and they have all these bells and whistles and like Bluetooth speakers, and they're clean. So if you've ever been in the yellow truck, I told Barb this is going to be like a dream to drive these. They're both 16-foot trucks, and they're up and ready to go. We're going to, of course, get them wrapped and all that. And one of them is currently full of Ashley furniture, so it's being used as storage right now. And the other one I think actually might have some recycling from the Berkeley place, if you know what I'm talking about. So we've been using them a little bit, but now the next step really for us is being able to hire enough movers to get these trucks rolling. So Sean can explain a little bit about how the process will work now that we have 4 trucks and enough case managers to move forward.
Hooray, 2 trucks.
Yeah.
So yeah, the way that we have been working with the 2 trucks since we've been back, like I said, logistically, and like Betsy just kind of touched on, shopping with that many families, without them coming in, without having a whole team of volunteers to take, kind of divide them up among all our volunteer staff, is very time consuming. So those phone calls can be anywhere between 30 minutes to an hour generally. And then you have to go and gather all that stuff, get it all packed up, and we're constantly modifying the way we're doing that to try and make it efficient, but also not to take away kind of the personal individual experience of each family. But yeah, so I kind of realized that I really only had time to do 12 families a week. And that worked out nicely because we also needed to quarantine items during this time. So anything that was coming in, we needed to save. Technically, it was 72 hours, but we were doing somewhere between 3 and 5 days, or I guess 5 and 6 days rather. So the way we divided our schedule up is that we had 2 trucks doing 2 deliveries a day, Monday through Wednesday. So that was, that's the 12 total. And then Thursday and Friday, we did all these pickups. So they would do 2 routes of pickups. They would come back. We had an area, Dock D and Dock E of our warehouse, if you've been there. Actually, it kind of more went out to CUD by the end of Thursday and Friday. But we would just have a huge pile of furniture, and it would sit there until Wednesday, and we would unload it and repeat the cycle over and over again. So now with this new funding, we can add truck 3 and 4, and I've worked out a schedule that will enable us to serve 25 families. We had to get another case manager, Kristen. Some of you may have met Kristen. She was a Summer Vista last summer. helped us out immensely last summer and is about to continue to do so now, or already is. And it also enabled us to buy a light box, a UV light box. So this ideally will end the quarantine mountain, the whole quarantine pile that we've had to make every week, and enable us to do pickups again daily. So the way that this is supposed to work is you bring these donations with, these couches and boxes of stuff, whatever we need. You put it in this box for a certain amount of time, hour or two, I'm not sure, and then it's supposed to be good. It's supposed to kill the virus in there. We can create a process where it's just happening every day. It goes in just like doing laundry or something like that. But so I think that we should be up to about 25 families a week, 5 families a day. So where we're doing about 3 routes of pickups a day and 5 families a day. Where am I at here? Yeah, and that's about it. Things that could help us through this process, because there are still going to be tons of challenges. I did get a list of items from Asher that we're really low on right now, and maybe we can put that up somewhere. I don't necessarily want to list them all off right now, but maybe we'll make that accessible in some way, if Betsy could think of somewhere to put that best. But also the keeping up with packing. So we'll be shopping with 5 families a day, and Asher and Kristen are doing an amazing job. We kind of test ran that for a day earlier this week, and it went really well. But it is a ton of work. So there is packing that needs to get done, not only in the mornings, but throughout the day. So if you know anyone that has a ton of time on their hands, is looking to volunteer some time, reaching out to Lisa B or Betsy or myself, that could be very helpful. Has a ton of time and interest in helping us out. But yeah, and then we'll give you that list of other stuff too. So nice to see all of y'all. I'll hand it back over to Betsy.
All right, so we're just gonna introduce the new staff folks, and I think everyone was able to get on here. So Sean, do you want to get us started?
Sure thing. I think I'm unmuted. Can everybody hear me? All right. So my name is Sean Durham, new Sean as I'm called these days. Although I've actually been here about 2.5 months. So the newness is kind of wearing off for me, but always, still exciting. I'm the donation logistics coordinator. So it's possible I've spoken to some of you all on the phone if you've scheduled a pickup or anything like that. And essentially, I'm taking care of any individual pickup donations or business pickup donations, which I think we talked about earlier. Yesterday, we just made a run to Ikea, which was so exciting. And we were able to grab a lot of awesome donations from them. So essentially what brought me to Home Sweet Home was that, well, I was kind of connected with folks who'd worked here already, but just the mission has really spoken to me and continues to speak to me. I think that it's really important that we support our unhoused community members, and then of course people who are transitioning out of being unhoused. And in the past, I'd spent about 4 years working with people who were in that transition phase, and that kind of solidified my interest and just my my care for that issue, that sort of section of community work that we do. So this is definitely different than working one-on-one with folks who are in that transition period, but I am excited every day to talk to people who want to, do a little good and donate either a couch or household items that ultimately are going to really brighten the day of the people that we serve. So it's been really fun, and I just love working here. It's a pleasure. So hopefully I get to meet a lot of you soon. It's definitely safer that we're all being distant and, keeping our masks on and all that good stuff. But I can't wait for the day when Home Sweet Home is really bustling like it has been in the past, as I've been told you know, as Betsy said, I'm new, so I was kind of tossed into this transition phase, which has also been exciting. But it'll be great to have people in the warehouse again.
Thank you, Sean. Asher, you're up.
Hi, I'm Asher. I've been here a little over a month. I'm the client services coordinator. So what I do right now is I make appointments with families and I do their shopping on the phone, those appointments that Sean talked about. I get a feel for what they want based on their choices from the website, and I ask them about their preferences for things that they don't get to see. And then I go out and I pick those things out for them. And usually, at least twice a week, I'll get a call back saying, "Oh my God, I'm so happy with what I got. I love my furniture." And that just kind of really makes my day. Uh, I've been doing activism a long time. And so when I found out about this position at Home Sweet Home and I learned about their mission, I was really pumped to see if I could get in here and make something happen. And I'm so glad to be in this job because I feel like we're doing something super important. That's it.
You, Asher. Kristen, you are up next.
Hi, everyone. My name is Kristen Watt. I was a Vista last summer for 8 weeks at Home Sweet Home, helping out in the warehouse and a little bit with client services. And now I am helping with the case management and client services to, get us up to the speed that we want to be at. And I'm really grateful to be back here. I love the mission. I recently moved back to St. Louis, and so it's been really wonderful to be back at Home Sweet Home and able to help make things as similar to how they were before the pandemic, and kind of like help pick up help however I can. So I'm really glad to be back here, and it's been great so far. I've been here for about a week.
Niko.
Hey everybody, my name is Niko. I'm one of the new movers here at Home Sweet Home. I think this is week 2 for me. Thursday's my off days. Woo! Yeah. But I kind of don't know what to say. I'm a little nervous. This is my first time doing this thing, so I really don't know what to say.
What have you learned, or what do you like about working here?
What I
Or
do
not
love
like,
about
whatever.
what I do love about working here is that we are doing things to help people that actually need these things, like place to live, like furniture and things that they can't afford because they're trying to get back on their feet. So like that itself is like super exciting to me, to actually be able to do something what I've always wanted to do, and that's just help people, just have that, use my positive energy, because I've always been a positive guy, so I've always tried to find better ways to express positive things towards everyone. And so like when I heard about Home Sweet Home through Lindsay, Sean's girlfriend, and I came here and saw what you guys were doing, it was actually really cool. And I was like, yeah, I can actually do this. Like, oh, but that's pretty much it. I'm 26. I love art and music and anime. And I'm very nervous in the beginning, as you can see, but I'll adjust.
You're doing great. I think Niko's best quality is his energy level. So he definitely keeps the rest of us excited. There's no sad Niko ever.
Hopefully that doesn't ever happen.
All right, Julie, you're next. Nope.
I think that Julie might be.
There you go. We good? All right, I'm Julie Ramacati. I am the new admin and finance coordinator. I've been here a week and a half. I love it here. This place is amazing. The mission is amazing. The energy of everyone who works here is so inspiring. I am by far the oldest member of the team. I will not tell you how old I am, but I love that I am working with young people who are so passionate about what they do. From a young age,
volunteering and serving in the community was something that my family believed in. And so as an adult now, giving back and working in this type of capacity is just a gift and a blessing, and I am happy to be here. For those of you who are on the call who are board members, I served for 6 years on the board of Almost Home. They're a nonprofit agency in the area that serves young mothers and their babies. In addition to serving as a board member, I was the treasurer and head of the finance committee for 4 of those years. So I hope to bring to all of you my experience in that capacity. I know what it's like to be on the other side, and hope to serve you the best way that I can. And I love working for Betsy, and happy to be here and excited to serve in whatever way I can.
Yay. All right, Janae, you're up. I think you're the last one, right?
Last but not least. Hello, everyone. I'm Janae Johnson. I'm the new development director. I found out about Home Sweet Home in 2016 through a friend of mine who volunteered and raved about Betsy, about the organization, and came to an event. And I'm just like, loved you guys since I've met you guys. Like everyone's been saying, the energy here is like amazing. It's so positive. It's such like a bubbly feeling. Like it doesn't even feel like work. And it's just great because we're just like helping so many people. And especially this year, times are so hard. I can only imagine what some families that were already struggling beforehand are going through. And it's just really nice to see everyone pull together and help them out. I have a background in non-for-profits. I've been working in non-for-profits since about 2014, but I grew up volunteering a lot in the community. My mother worked for Mercy Healthcare, and they're very active in the community, whether it's like health fairs or back to school fairs, like all of that jazz. Growing up, it was just like the norm in our family to volunteer. So it was really cool to like have it as a career now. But most recently, I was with Tower Grove Park. Before that, I was with the Boy Scouts, some sort of larger non-for-profit. So I'm hoping what I can bring to the table is like things that I've learned there. I'm a girl who like loves to go to a party and loves to throw a party too. So I'm excited to get on board with the events. Hope to make them bigger and better, and like work with Betsy on that. I'm also a photographer, so you may see me around with the Canon. Just smile. But it'll be nice to capture some of those cool things like Ikea yesterday, so that we can show everyone in the community like what we're doing. Like, we're not just hanging out in the warehouse goofing off. Like we're actually out there doing some cool things. So I also hope to bring a little photography to us and capture those moments and do what else anyone tells me to do. I've been here for a few weeks, so I'm still kind of learning some things, but I'm happy to be a part of the team. So call me if you need anything.
I love it. Yeah, so those are 6 new teammates. We are still hiring movers. So if you know of anyone specifically that wants to lift heavy things and drive a truck, we're their person. So send them our way. There's also the job descriptions online if you know of anyone. So then we'll turn it over to Christy.
Thank you. It's so exciting to have all of these great new people on the team. So welcome everyone. I know I haven't gotten to meet a lot of you because of the limitations on being in the warehouse, but just know that the board is so thrilled about having all of these great new staff members joining our team. So thank you for being a part of this mission, for your passion, for your energy. We're so pumped to have you here. So we have a couple of really cool events that are coming up that we want to make sure we're sharing with all of our volunteers. We've got some great things to celebrate, as Betsy showed you with our new trucks. If you would have told me last year that we would have 4 trucks in the middle of a pandemic, I would have laughed at you, but here we are. And we're just continuing to chug along because of the great so knowing that we can't meet in person, we want to still try to do some fun virtual events. A few little mini bingos. If you haven't gotten to do one of those, we have an opportunity to do some of those individually. We're also doing on September 10th, mark your calendars for that. In partnership with Grapevine Wines, we are going to be hosting a virtual wine tasting. So they're going to talk us through some really wonderful, different fun things to try. So that event will be coming up soon, September 10th. And in October, we will have another event. We're still working on dates and details, but it will be a breakfast in bed event. So if you like brunch, be on the lookout for that coming soon. So I think Betsy, thank you. Betsy just shared the link for the virtual wine night. We're officially live. So I'll let you wrap it up, Betsy, with all of the good stuff.
Yeah, so real fast, Mike and Di, can you guys tell us real briefly, because those who haven't been to a wine night or let alone a virtual wine night, how does this work?
So we're going to be tasting 5 different wines and a bourbon. And we'll have a charcuterie plate to go with those wines. We'll do a little wine tasting. We'll tell about each wine, where they come from, what they pair with, and then we'll allow you guys to talk a little bit about Home Sweet Home. Then we'll get more back into the wines again, and then we'll finish up with
the people from Grapevine Wines are on here. They're on.
So we'll do wine, Home Sweet Home, wine, Home Sweet Home, bourbon, Home Sweet Home. I mean, really, what's better, right?
Yeah.
Right. All the things we love.
Perfect.
And they're fun. We'll have the 3 of us. My brother will join us, and we've done a few on Facebook, and they were quite fun. People liked them, so we hope everyone enjoys the evening.
Yeah. So it's online. I think it's $99, and it's essentially like a wine tasting for 2. And you can either pick it up from Grapevine Wines that day, or we'll have volunteers deliver it for an extra $10. If you're interested in joining Sue Foster and I in delivering wine, let us know, let Lisa B know, or myself know, because we'll probably could use a few drivers to deliver wine. So thank you for doing that, Mike and Dinah.
And in association with that event, 10% of sales will go back to Home Sweet Home.
Yeah.
We figured out.
I don't know if we figured out how people can order, but we'll do that.
Yeah, we haven't figured that out. Yeah. That reminded me.
Yeah.
But we'll figure that out.
We'll make that work. Okay. So then just to wrap us up, so we'll give it a chance to answer questions here in just a second. So how can people help moving forward? Of course, we will still continue to need stuff. We're going to be serving twice as many clients as we have been those last few weeks. And we'll have more trucks picking up stuff. So we'll work with Lisa and Janae to get some information out and just watch social media on what we need. I do know immediately we need pillows. We're actually gonna need dressers soon, and it's gonna be winter before we know it. So sheets and blankets are definitely gonna be on that wish list. I guarantee it. So definitely feel free to continue to share the word. Really, when you all are out there and you're talking about the mission, it means so much more than when we do it. It's important, it's my job, but people know that that's my job, right? But when you're out there and you're telling the stories about the contact that you've had with our families and what it means to you, it means just like 10 times more to your friends and your colleagues. So thank you for continuing to do that. The other big piece that we're going to need is to really finish this year off strong, is we're going to need people to donate financially. And so we've been really lucky to access this COVID money. And I think that we did like a push during the spring via email very quickly, but we didn't do a spring appeal. In fact, we really haven't appealed to folks at all for funds. That doesn't mean people haven't been giving. People have actually been very generous. I think we've been really lucky that we have a demographic that knows the mission is invested both with their time and their resources. And so a lot of you have stepped up, a lot of your families have stepped up, even when we weren't asking, and we appreciate that. And we really feel like the demographic that we're working with for funds will continue to have funds. And as most of you know, we've been dedicated to paying our staff a living wage from the very beginning, because that was really important to us. And so because we cannot have as many volunteers in the warehouse, our staff costs have increased like 53%. So that's been a big adjustment for Home Sweet Home, is that we have a lot more staff in the warehouse now. So at least there's one staff member in the warehouse every single day, as well as 2 people on each truck. And then on Fridays and Wednesdays, I believe we have 2 extra people to just manage all the flux of furniture that's been coming in. And so for us to really end this year strong, just so you know, Janae and I are going to create some kind of year-end fundraising plan, because we need to raise $290,000 to really end the year strong, and go into 2021 knowing what we want to do. And as Christy said, we're working on the strategic plan, and a big part of that is building up capacity to support the staff in a package that can provide insurance and make sure that we continue to grow a really well-qualified, well-funded staff. As the organization gets stronger and more professional, our board is growing and becoming more professional. Our staff is going to be doing the same thing, and we've made the commitment, and the board has really made that commitment. It hasn't really been me; it's been the board has made that commitment to push that. So that's a part of this year-end fundraising plan as well. And so just, keep a lookout if you know or hear of any foundations that you have access to, or corporate giving, which I know is going to be tricky for the next year. So definitely reach out to either Janae or myself. And honestly, this is about what we were scheduled to raise anyway for the end of the year. We're just making that number really public. And we know that every time we tell you all what we need, it kind of comes in like buckets. So $290,000 is our goal for the end of the year. And then Ian had asked the other day, he goes, gosh, Betsy, you have 4 trucks. What do you want next year? And I was being sarcastic, but I was like, nothing. Like, the next year is going to be our year to just slow down and reevaluate what we're doing well, what we can improve on. And really, like, I keep using the saying, I think I heard, like, we're in a hurry, we must slow down. So when our board was coming up with strategic plan ideas and we were getting feedback from staff and volunteers, there were more than 100 different like projects or ideas or concepts, things we wanted to do that could be done with this mission and with this region. And out of those 100, I think like 12 made it to the strategic plan. So what my job will be is to look at the other, whatever 100 minus 12 is, and figure out what are those that we can prioritize for 2021. And so some of those are going to include things like holding ourselves accountable for better diversity and inclusion on all levels, from staff to volunteers to the board, better training for all 3 of those layers. So get our truck drivers, actual truck driver training, getting the board more board training so we can continue to grow our board. Also continue to get more corporate sponsors and funding and volunteers. And so there's a whole array of pieces that the staff will just take time next year to like pull back and evaluate which ones we need to tackle and how we want to do it. So just be really intentional with all that. So that's kind of our plan for 2021. We're not looking to move out of this building. We're not looking to add any trucks. We just want COVID to end and for everybody to kind of get back up to par with where we were. I think that's all that I have. You all are on mute, but would love if anyone has questions or comments. What you guys have any questions? Feel free to unmute yourselves and ask away.
Betsy, it's not really a question, just an observation. You have a lot of really new staff members who seem really excited about being there. Just a reminder that you can put that information in the Post-Dispatch on Thursdays, I believe. You can do it online. It's real simple. If you have photographs of them, they'll even put those in the paper. Plus, if you're doing that, you might also mention Ikea, because I have a section called Helping Out that appears in the business section, and it gives an opportunity for you to say Ikea made this wonderful donation. It gives them some publicity, free publicity, plus it also gives you some.
Perfect, thank you. I'm writing that down.
Congrats on everybody. I mean, what a crazy, everybody is thinking how horrible this is, and it is. And it's so nice to hear positive news. So congrats on the new trucks, on the new people, on the CARES Act. It's like, whoa, I wasn't expecting all this good news. I'm so happy for you all.
I'm wondering if we can arrange some kind of lunch for staff and Zoom during it. I know it's hard with everyone being separated, but maybe that way Niko doesn't feel like he's on stage having to perform, and we can welcome everybody as volunteers to staff. I think, don't we have a couple people we haven't met, like Zoe? I mean, I think there were some movers that came on right at the beginning, maybe. Yeah, Sean, right?
That's
Am I crazy?
true.
And it might be a more casual, I mean, I know we're always happy to provide a little something for you guys for lunch, and maybe we can get to know everyone a little bit.
Yeah, that's a great idea.
I
And thank you. Alicia had actually organized the volunteers before when we first came back with us. I think you ended up providing several lunches. So thank you. That it does, you know, food helps around here. It doesn't take much. So yeah, and the Zoe came on right before shutdown, and it would be nice to see some of the other folks. Just an FYI, like on that note, some of the reason we have some of these new people is, but we did lose 3 people. So we lost Melissa, Janet, and Lisa, all for different reasons. Actually, it's Lisa Long's birthday today, so if you have her number or Facebook, you know, send her a message. But they're all still involved, just not from. Oh, there's Zoe. Hi, Zoe.
I went and gathered her for you guys.
Yeah.
Thank
Welcome,
you,
Zoe.
Zoe.
Yeah.
So Zoe takes such great care of our clients. Any
Hey,
other questions or thoughts?
I had one question, but it involves more like art. I think I talked about it earlier with you before, but I was trying to see if there's any way I can use my artistic skills to help, like with Home Sweet Home as a company. If I can do anything artistically to help you guys out.
That's a good question. I'm gonna resort to Janae to find a way to make that happen.
Okay.
Where with you during the chair affair?
Yes.
Yes.
The answer is yes. We just have to figure out how. Absolutely, Niko. That's awesome.
I see a Niko art auction in our future.
Yeah.
I'm just trying. That's all.
Right on. That's awesome. And I, of course, welcome Janae, Niko, Asher, everyone. I have not been in the warehouse, so, but it is, and Kristen, I feel like I left someone out, but it is very nice to meet you all, and thank you so much for all you're doing. And congratulations, Sean. Is there anyone else? I mean, I feel like there's a lot that has happened in the warehouse. Okay, maybe not.
All right. Any other questions or thoughts? Nothing. Okay. I
have one. Can I ask? It's Sue. I just had a question. Are all the previous donors or whatever will get an email about the wine night, right? Has that gone out yet? I've already been bugging people, so I just wanted to know when to like really bother them and say, hey, register.
Janae, you wanna?
Yes, that will be. Can you guys hear me? Am I off mute? Yes, that will be going out soon. The Facebook will be live here shortly as well, and yeah, we'll make it a point to make sure everyone that's come in the past will get the e-blast and start spreading the word. Get everyone excited.
Thank you, everybody, so much. We appreciate and like seeing you.
See you tomorrow.